What's up, my PT peeps? One-Eye Bri back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 7, Episode 4, and Negan's dig at Rick's past. Spoiler warning, if you don't know the episode, you don't want to know the episode, you're not up to date, and you just don't want to know this information. Spoiler warning about Season 7 of The Walking Dead, and previous stuff of The Walking Dead as well from previous seasons, but spoilers are coming. Now, the Negan dig we'll talk about in a second, but it's basically the point where Rick talks to Michonne about his past and Judith not being his, but his partner Shane's. And why did he bring that up? Now we kind of realize it. Why he brought it up is what Negan said at the graves about Maggie being open to being with Negan after he killed Glenn, and that just brought up the subject of that probably to Rick. Comicbook.com will put the link in the description if you want to check it out, and here we go. Negan's dialogue in The Walking Dead's episode 704 had hardcore fans giddy to see pages of Robert Kirkman's comic books being realized on television. However, in the excitement, we may have missed a hidden layer of depth in one of Negan's creepy remarks. By the end of episode 704, Service, Rick Grimes opened up about Shane and Lori to Michonne for the first time. This came after he himself delivered a line mirroring a conversation he had with his former police partner while angry at Spencer Monroe for mentioning Glenn and Abraham. So it's kind of a flashback, callback to with Shane, and that's what brought this all up. And you kind of feel for Rick. He was put, and is still put, in a tough situation with Negan, Judith, and just constant flashback, callback, just can never get away with the fact of Shane and Lori, because Judith being born is kind of always a reminder of Shane and Lori and whatever, even though he got past it and he has to deal with it, and that was the whole point of the remarks. Shane being a part of that, it's debate whether you could think of it or not. It doesn't really matter because the baby's there and Rick's taking ownership of the baby. Shane is one of the most debated characters on the show, whether you like him, love him, hate him, love to hate him, think he's a villain, think he's a good guy, or whatever. But that's a different time, a different video. But ultimately, it was a nice callback to Shane and Rick back in Season 2. All these moments were likely brought about because Rick had Shane on his mind, thanks to a specific line from Negan. Right after their husbands go, they're just empty inside, but usually not for long, Negan said about Maggie. Wow, that's terrible. Right after their husbands go, they're just empty inside. He said that right outside the graves, thinking that, oh, Maggie, she didn't make it? Oh, if she was alive, I would ask her to come back with me. Like, what a dick. But Negan said the line, and I guess it triggered Rick to think about, yeah, Shane was there, Lori was there, they thought I was dead. She felt empty inside. Lori felt she wanted to have feeling again, so she jumped to Shane, and that kind of triggered that. So that's probably why Rick brought it up. It's a good theory. Of course, for viewers, this was simply a sarcastic sexual remark we've come to expect from the villain, but for Rick, it was something more. For Rick, this brings back memories of when his wife thought him dead and quickly moved on to sleeping with his best friend and police partner. One has to wonder if Negan already knows about Lori and Shane somehow, or if the line is simply coincidentally deep dig at the Alexandria sheriff. And I don't think Negan knows this. I mean, this was back in Season 2 and 3 when they were in Atlanta and not there. I mean, what do you think? Someone told him that information? We're giving Negan too much credit that he knows all this information, but I don't believe that. I think it was just a coincidence that brought it out and triggered that. Don't give Negan too much credit. The line was a touching callback to Rick and Shane and Lori and that whole situation, and Judith. You feel bad for Rick that he's put in this situation with Negan, like I said before, with Judith. Now, what do you think about Judith? Do you think she's going to be a baby for the entire series? Because in the comic, she's dead, and I don't know what they're going to do. Whether it's going to be a time lapse. I mean, Carl has greatly outgrown his comic book part by how he looks, not by the storyline or the arc that he still has, but just the size. I mean, he's a growing kid on the show. Versus written in a comic book. Now, do you think Judith will always be a baby? Do you think she's going to grow to be a child on there? Do you think she gets killed by somehow or whatever? But do you think she looks like Shane there too? Judith Season 20, I just thought that was great. Also, the fun fact is that they always cast her as twins. If they need a crying baby, if they need a quiet baby or whatever. I think there's been about 8 series of twins on there for her now that's coming on this season of it. But look, that's all the different Judiths there, all the different babies from that. So little fun fact for you there. Judith is a baby still. Do you think she always will be? Post your comments there. What do you think of the theory about Negan kind of waking up Rick's thoughts about Shane and the baby and Lori and everything there too. So let us know, guys. I just love this Photoshop in here too. This kid running from the walkers. There's one of her with Daryl on the bike too, whatever. It's pretty funny. But there you go, guys. Like, share, subscribe today to get more videos. Let us know what you think of the theory, and as always, thank you for watching.